Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sit back in, relax. This is the only place you need to be for the next hours, right here with me and Nikki Meets on the Pantry Boys. We're rocking and rolling. Another episode. The juices are in the air. I'm feeling good. Meets, talk to me.
I'm always feeling good. Pleasure to be back on another episode with you. Thank you to everybody who tuned in to last week's episode with T. Ross. We haven't heard back from Eddie V yet, but great things take time. I'm sure that Eddie V has gotten the message that the Pantry Boys have invaded Orlando, Florida, and the Orlando Magic and the National Basketball Association. It's great to be here, Bob.
I bet if you called Eddie V right now for a reservation, they would have no availability till February of 2022. I mean, yeah. Eddie V was the talk of the town.
He was the talk of Orlando, Florida. People were calling Eddie V's, and people were, and the receptionist was picking up the phone. Hi, is this Eddie V's? And they just had to hang up. They don't even, you know what I mean? Like they can't. They're booked until next year.
Meets, we got a very special guest coming on. Your dad, who we talked to, and we were talking about the show. I love picking his brain, Mr. Meets. He said to me, he said, you know what you guys got to do? You got an NBA player. You got your first pantry girl. Go out and get a hockey player. What did we do, Meets?
We got a fucking hockey player. That's what we did. We went into the NHL and we got a hockey player.
Back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Alex KILLORN is coming on, and I think he's going to bring the energy. You always say to me, people that speak the language, my guess, and I hope I'm right, I think he speaks the language. I really do.
But before we bring him on, I've gotten every guest to come on except for Tyler Cameron.
Yeah.
And so now it feels good not having the pressure if the person speaks the language or not.
I wish that I could be in the position that I was for the last 6 episodes besides Cameron. It's just a good feeling for it to be your guest. Now it's my responsibility.
And
you know what I mean?
Now it's on you. And I feel like this weight has just been lifted. I don't think you understand the anxiety I get before they come on, because I'm like, God,
I do, because I'm feeling that right now.
Of course. So we're going to bring them on. We already knocked on the door of the NBA, and the Pantry Boys have made their way into the National Hockey League. Is that how you say it?
It's time.
National Hockey League.
Time to play some puck. Let's drop the puck. Let's drop the puck. He is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, knocked out my Islanders out of the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And this guy's just living in the dream. He's in Tampa right now.
Nuts, man.
These guys, these hockey guys, they all live in Tampa, and they're just riding jet skis around it because they have the water in their backyard, and they got the Stanley Cup on the jet skis. They're having the time of their lives.
They're having the time of their life. Not a care in the world, these guys.
Not a care in the world. Not a care in the world.
It makes sense because you got to be a little nuts to play hockey. You
got to be a fucking nut.
You got to be a fucking nutcase. And these guys, and they skate up and down. They get into fights. They're missing front teeth. They smell like shit. You ever see someone at the end of a hockey game? They look like they just ran 3 marathons.
But then once they shower up and get changed, hockey guys are by far the best looking athletes out there.
It's so crazy.
And it is not up for debate. These hockey guys are just fucking stallions.
They're stallions.
Absolute stallions.
And the thing about what you'll notice with the hockey guys is, like in the NFL, the NBA, like a lot of players have their own swag and style when they come off the bus and they got like different kind of outfits on. These hockey guys, all suit and tie. They mean business.
You know what I like too? You'll never see the hockey guys. They're not threatening to go on strike. They're not. Yeah. They don't care what they get paid. They just want to skate. They want to bang bodies.
That's all they want to do.
That's all they want to do.
They want to get on the ice and just fuck around.
And now they want to talk food. The Pantry Boys have breached the NHL. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring them in. Pressure's on Bob this episode. This is Alex KILLORN coming in hot to talk food. Let's give it up for the young man right there.
Give it up for the young man, Mr. KILLORN.
The Harvard alum right there. Let's bring him in. Alex, how we doing today, big fella?
Hey, what's going on, boys?
Let me ask you something, Alex. I'm going to jump this fucking thing right off, okay? You're coming off back-to-back Stanley Cups. The first offseason after the first Stanley Cup had to be phenomenal. Now, back-to-back, okay? Food's got to taste better. You got to be sleeping better. You got to be a better overall person right now, no?
I mean, I think so. I've been lucky, and you know what? in 9 months, we were able to win 2 Stanley Cups. So it's all happened in a quick amount of time. But like you said, yeah, foods taste pretty good. I mean, it's been a short summer, not a lot of traveling, but everything's been great for me on my end for sure. Very, very fortunate.
I gotta imagine food can't really taste much better. Like at this point, I mean, even just like a simple egg over easy, I feel like tastes like $1 million.
Your palate is in its prime right now.
It's peaked right now.
You may never know it. You may not even know it.
Yeah, and we've been eating a bunch of different stuff out of the cup as well. So
I'm glad that got brought up.
Yeah, me too. What's the craziest shit you ever ate out of the cup?
I mean, for me, I had a French onion soup at Burns, and if anyone knows in Tampa, pretty well-known steakhouse. But it was the tough part was melting the cheese because you don't want to, they take a torch, and you don't want to put fire on the cup. So the cheese was okay, but my favorite soup in the world, so I was happy to do it there.
Alex, I gotta ask you right out of the gate, okay? Have you heard the Pantry Boys show?
Have you ever listened to an episode?
I have seen clips. I haven't listened to an entire show, but I definitely know.
We fucking hate the French onion soup.
We find the French onion soup to be kind of obnoxious.
No, but okay, well, the French onion soup I'm talking about at Burns is different because I don't like onions, which is a crazy take, right?
Okay.
So we'll get to that in a second, but go ahead.
Yeah, this French onion soup doesn't have very many onions, just a little bit, but it's got the flavor. And it's a small cup. It's not a big bowl. And they give it to you at Burns, which is a steakhouse in Tampa.
Sure.
Okay.
And it's great. I don't know. I'm a soup guy, and French onion soup is definitely one of my soups.
I gotta ask you, Alex, okay? Because you bring up the Stanley Cup, okay? I've never seen a trophy get passed around so much in my life.
Yeah.
Who controls the Stanley Cup? It's like this thing is floating all over the fucking, but you don't see that with the World Series. You don't see it with the Lombardi. The Stanley Cup is in everybody's living room.
Yeah.
Well, a huge part of winning the cup is like bringing it back to your hometown, especially a lot of guys who live in Canada. It's a pretty big deal. And a lot of us live in small hometowns where it's a pretty big deal to bring the cup home, and a lot of people come out and celebrate it. But I mean, if you see right when we win the cup, there's 2 guys that come out. They're called the cup keepers or whatever, Phil and Craig, and they're the ones that are kind of seen on TV. And one of them has like long, blonde hair. He's kind of a celebrity in Canada, at least. But
is he really?
Yeah, there's a rotation of 6 guys that travel with it. And I had my cup party last weekend. Yeah, so they've seen it all, and they're kind of there to make sure you don't take any liberties with the cup. I mean, they want to make sure you're not, it has a 12 o'clock midnight curfew.
See that? I'm telling you, mate.
That's awesome.
But do you have a certain amount of days, like you get the cup and say, okay, we're giving it to you right now, Wednesday at 9 a.m. You got to have this returned by Friday at 9 a.m.
Well, no, they're with the cup is not ever without them. They are with you in every.
So they got to stay at your house.
So the cup comes with security.
Yeah.
With 2 security guards. Yeah, and they're like, there's a lot of rules that I'm the only one that's allowed to hoist it. So all of your buddies want to come and hoist it. They're not allowed to hoist it. If I hoist it, they can hoist it with me. I'm the only one that's allowed to carry it.
The Stanley Cup's got a pulse, Meats.
Let me tell you something. Wait, so let me get this straight. So the Stanley Cup comes with 2 security guards. It's on the schedule. Only a few people can lift it over their head. But you could put a French onion soup in the fucking top of it, and it's no problem.
Doesn't make any sense, right? Like you could put anything in it. There was lobster in it the other day, but I guess for some reason it's, what? I'm the one who earned the Stanley Cup, so
hell yeah.
Raised it over my head. That's kind of the thought that goes into it. But we've, the first time we won it, we took a couple liberties. Some guy fell in the pool, and the cup itself, like, if water gets into it, it's kind of a problem. It's hollow.
Okay.
Alex, you might have had chlorine in your French onion soup
and not even know it.
Very possible, yeah. But we had a stern talking to, and then we were a little bit better after that. But
Now, when you say a stern talking to, that's code word for you guys got your assholes ripped apart by the security guards.
by the security guard, and we have a lot of respect for the cup, so you don't want to.
100%.
And the guy that ended up doing it, actually felt really bad because the guy was actually pretty rattled. But either way, they're great. They have to deal. Listen, they show up at 9 a.m. and they're with you the entire day till midnight, and they wake up and they do it again because with this off season, it's so short, and they're going to Europe, they're going to Russia. I think next. Hopefully, our teammates in Russia come back.
Wow.
But yeah, they got a pretty heavy duty job.
Okay, now, Alex, we're here to talk. We're going to talk food with you, and I want to get the food take. Okay, I got one thing for you before we jump into your food take. It started. Okay, I saw that you had followed me. Okay, and I'm a big Islander fan. You guys are playing them in the Eastern Conference Finals. And my dumbass, okay, the Islanders tie it up 2-2, which were huge underdogs. I had the nerve, Meats, to message Alex and say, Alex, you better not let this thing come back to the barn down 3-2.
And he followed you at the time?
He followed me at the time, and he responded, "We won't, fella," followed by "fuck your Islanders." That game 5, after me saying that, he has a career game. I think he had 2 goals. You had an assist, and then they just blew right through us.
That is. So would you say that Bob lit the spark under your ass to you going off game 5?
The thing was, I didn't want to say anything that was going to come back to bite me in the ass, and I'm a kind of a guy that
smart play.
The way it did for me.
And yeah, but the thing was, I waited till even after we beat the Islanders, I thought for some reason I'd put some bad karma on myself. I said, screw off, we beat you guys. I think I waited till we won the cup.
And that's when the fuck your Islanders came in.
Yeah, and that sending that message, Alex, must have been like so sweet to just send. This jackass puts his shirts on backwards half of the time.
You know what?
Just to send him a "fuck your Islanders" text, that must have been the best feeling. You know what I mean?
You know what Joey Colcuts did? My friend, what he did was when he knew that I sent that message to you, Alex, he went and hammered $200 on you to score. And then next thing you know, right out of the gate. Yeah, right out of the gate. Joey Colcuts capitalized.
Asked me for tickets, I think, in the playoffs. Never met the guy once in my life, and he's already,
Who was that, Colcuts?
Yeah, no.
Oh, the nerve. Wait,
no. It wasn't Colcuts. Oh, shit.
He's asking you for tickets.
Gerald. No, what's his name?
Gerard Gilfone. Jersey Jerry?
Jersey
Jerry. My God.
Asking for me to sign jersey to send them to.
No.
I usually have a rule, I'll help people out with tickets, but I have to meet you in person at some point.
100%. 100%.
Oh, that is so good.
That is
He told me he hammered me a couple times too. So I was happy to help in that sense. But.
Oh my goodness. So you just followed him and then he DM'd you. Can I get tickets and can you sign a few jerseys?
Exactly how it happened. I mean, I could look it up now.
That is so funny.
No, don't even worry about it.
He had, because I followed him too. I think he's hilarious. I mean, I think you guys are all hilarious. So, but yeah, once he saw the follow, yeah.
Nerve,
he just sucked it right. That's just, you don't do that.
Nerve. Alex, let me ask you before we get this food take, one more thing for you, okay? When you YouTube your name right out of the gate, okay, one of the first things that we have is you dropping the gloves and getting into a fight against the Hurricanes, okay? And you kick the living shit. I mean, you drop the glove and you beat the shit out of this guy. Would you prefer to score 2 goals in a game and not have a fight, or have that clip of you do, what's the name, Martin Nekas, okay? And you kick the shit, or would you rather kick the shit out of somebody and not score the 2 goals?
Kick the shit out of someone. I think.
Wow, what an answer. Good answer.
Great. It's, it's something special when you can do that. And that adrenaline can't be matched by 2 goals. I mean, if it's Stanley Cup Finals, maybe it's different, but yeah. So
how does that start? The guy starts chirping you a bit and you're like, yo, buddy, watch out. And then you guys just get into it.
So if you watch that clip, I was on the penalty kill and we had done a pre-scout where this guy, Martin Nekas, is the fastest guy in the NHL. And he just starts skating as fast as he can from his own zone. and he's going to come through and try to get into our zone. And we knew that was going to happen. And the guy that gave him the pass kind of screwed him. He gave him a last second, we call it like a dummy pass or a suicide pass. And the kid had no chance to even brace himself. So Gardner, who had thrown him the pass, thought that he had to come in and stand up for his teammate because he kind of screwed him over a little bit. And I know Gardner a little bit, so it was just kind of, I don't even know if he asked me. The adrenaline was pumping. I just started.
You guys just drop it and just you kick the shit out.
A lot of times the hockey too, you get tied up a little bit. There's a little. It was kicked the living piss out of the guy. So I had to ask that.
I'm sorry. We keep dragging it. We haven't even talked about food once yet, besides the French onion soup. But I just so curious. Like when you see, what was his last name? Gardner. That was the guy you kicked his ass. His last name was Gardner.
No, he threw the neck. I thought you kicked the shit out of Neckus. No,
I hit Neckus, and then Gardner came because I hit him.
So when you kick the shit out of somebody and then you see them after the game or like a couple months down the road, is it just a little bit awkward or is it just like normal?
It's not awkward because it's not personal at all. I mean,
okay.
It's funny because two nights ago I actually ended up seeing the guy who I had my first NHL fight with, who was much tougher than me, and he beat the shit out of me, and we were having a beer I think 2 nights ago. So it's not personal. I think in some instances it can get personal, but for the most part, you're just sticking up for your
team. Part of the game. Just part of the game.
Alex, I can tell you what does get personal, especially on this show, is food takes.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, and there is nothing that we want more than an Alex KILLORN food take. He's taking a big old sip of water.
He took a big sip. He took a big sip.
I've had the worst take so far, so.
The French onion soup. We are so against.
It's not your fault. You had no idea, and it was just so funny that you like out of all the things that you wanted to put in the Stanley Cup, you said French onions. My head almost popped off my body.
I thought you were doing that to get us riled up.
Yeah, me too.
I was wondering why you guys were laughing so hard. Yeah.
It's such an arrogant fucking soup. It's got its own bowl. It's just a terrible. Anyways. Yeah.
Well, you want to hear its own cup now.
Yeah. Now it's getting put in the Stanley Cup, and you know.
I also had lobster bisque out of the cup too. I don't know if you guys prefer that.
I love a lobster bisque. Now that's a power play.
Lobster bisque out of the Stanley Cup is a special play.
Yep, 100%.
Alex, let it rip, big fella. What do you got for us food take wise?
Guy, for me, I mean, if we're talking about food in general, I'm like a big pasta guy. I love pasta. Okay. Probably not the best thing if you're an athlete, but like if we're talking about my go-to meal, like if I'm on my deathbed, I'm getting like, what is it? That carbone vodka pasta.
You're a carbone guy. Penne alla vodka.
Yeah.
Does it matter what you have before a game? Do you keep it light before a game and then load up after? Because we had Terrence Ross of the NBA on, and we were saying you guys shed so much calories throughout one game to where you got to think by the time the game's over, you could put anything you want in your system.
Especially you hockey guys are soaked after a fucking. I mean, you guys look like you just came out of the ocean.
True.
Yeah. You could eat, you do burn so many calories, but for us, like we have a huge meal about 12 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game. Okay. And then we get a little bit of a pregame meal, which is oatmeal at 4 o'clock. So after the game, you have a little bit of leeway because you burn so many calories. We do have some pizzas that get hidden in the locker room. Sometimes some of the coaches get mad, but we got a little hiding spot for them. So if we ever need to crush some Zaz, it's waiting for us.
Hold on a second. Did you just say you got to need to crush some Zaz? Is that what you just said?
Is that what I said? I don't know. Maybe.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He said if we need to crush some Zaz, we can take care of it.
Well, we have a room. It's called the hot stove, and we go back there, and it's kind of players only little place. And if the trainers have some pizza, they'll just kind of slide it under the door.
And they slide a couple of Zaz under the door. That's awesome.
Is there a post-game spread, Alex? Is there a good post-game spread that you could look forward to, or do you hold off to where you could go out to a restaurant?
It depends. I mean, for us, we get out of the rink around 11:30, 12, so it's a little late for a lot of places in Tampa. It's not, New York City. Most places are kind of closing down, but there's a nice sushi spread. There's a pasta station.
There we go.
And then there's a buffet. So, there's plenty of options. And the pasta station and the rice station, wherever they cook it up, is always there. The sushi's always there. And then, the main dishes kind of switch for every game.
Let me ask you something about the pasta station. So you just played a game, just exhibition, just like, you know what I mean? You just like one of those games you go in and you didn't have a spectacular night. You were just like kind of being a role player. What's your go-to pasta station order? Like when the guy's over there, what do you do?
If I didn't play well, I'm not ordering pasta.
Okay. I'm not saying you didn't play well. I'm just saying you did your job, but like you didn't do anything more than just your job.
But why
you know?
not? You don't feel like you deserve the pasta?
No, you got to earn the pasta for sure.
Wow. I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you.
I respect that. There's a
I know
lot
I
of
like
pasta
you.
I've had that I did not earn. I can tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. Good for you, Killer.
No, so if I don't play, it's going teriyaki chicken with a little bit of rice, and I just eat it, and I'm not happy about it. But I think if anything, it makes me, work harder.
100%. You're a dog, Alex. You
yeah,
really
you
are.
really are, man.
No, you're a dog. And like you know why? You know why you are? Because you didn't have to explain yourself about being a dog. We just knew because of the things you were saying. I mean, you hockey guys, and Bob and I were saying too. You hockey guys go through the trenches. They're in the middle of a hockey game. You come out, you get in the shower, you leave the facility looking like $1 gazillion in your suits. It's like unbelievable.
Would you agree that the best looking athletes by far? I mean, do guys even in camp know that?
I don't know. I mean, the difference with our sport is we got to wear the suits, and I enjoy it. Guys are trying to get out of the suits. I kind of like showing 100%. Up with suits.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Guys, they got that European thing going. They got their suits are a little bit slimmer. I think they do a pretty good job over there.
I ask you something about the suits when you pull up on game day. The suits you wear, the pants. Do you personally, do you like to show a little bit of the ankle when you get off of the bus with your pants? A little bit more of a tape.
If you're wearing the loafer that allows for that, you do it. But if you're wearing a shoe that's like a full lace shoe, you don't. I don't.
You
think
don't.
So.
Okay.
Just like wearing tuxedos. I had a wedding the other day. You wear no sock and you show a little bit of ankle with the shoe.
Yeah, attaboy. I must say too, you sound like you've had a fantastic couple of days. Like you went, you like every other like thing that he's done. He's like, yeah, it just happened a couple of days ago. He had a wedding. He put French onion soup in the Stanley Cup. He had a couple of beers with a guy that kicked his ass. Like it seems like you've had a crazy couple of days.
This is your time. I mean,
it doesn't get better. It really does. Good for you, man.
Thank you.
Hey, I mean, to say the least, Alex, you've earned your pasta. Go pasta up, big fella. Nice to finally get you on the show. And get Jersey Jerry his fucking tickets, would you?
And will you please sign a couple of jerseys for Jerry?
I mean, the
please?
nerve for you to not get this guy tickets by now is just ridiculous.
It's out of control.
Never met him before. Stanley Cup Finals. Just wanted me to throw him a couple tickets. You know what? I do like him, and at some point I'm going to get him some tickets. I promise you this year.
You heard it here first. Alex KILLORN, man, thank you so much for coming on. You were a fucking gem. God bless you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you guys. All right.
Take care.
Take it easy.
See you guys.
I got to tell you what.
He was awesome.
This guy is living. I mean,
Bro,
I don't think he knows just how good this time of his life is.
Yeah. But he was like, I know we didn't really talk a lot about food, but I mean, he was a great guest. He really was. He came in and just like held a conversation, like knew who he was. You know what I mean? Like didn't overcompensate. Like he was fucking awesome. Alex, like I'm a fan. I really am. He was great.
You know what, too? And like you said, we didn't even really talk food too much, but there were so many questions that I wanted to answer, whether, what the fights on you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think we touched on a lot. There he is, Alex KILLORN, ladies and gentlemen.
Earns his pasta.
Earns his pasta. Boy, did he. All right, Meats. But we know the drill. We love our guests.
We love the guests. We really do. We love them, but
however, boy, does this. I mean, here we go. Mano y mano.
Mano y mano.
Put on the gloves, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, ding, ding. We got my take. We got Nikki Meats' take. And then we close down with the one and only voicemails here of the Pantry Boys, ladies and gentlemen. Nikki Meats, are you ready? I'm on the treadmill this morning, and I get a text from you. You're fucked. Which means you got something. You got something.
I got something good. I got something real good. And I usually shower before the show. And when I'm in the shower, I really have an internal battle with myself, like, because some of the takes are hard. Like, I don't know which way I'm going to go. And I really, like, do my take fully in the shower, and then I just come on and redo it. So I already know what I'm going to say. This might put your head in a blender like that. You know what I'm saying?
The best thing I think we've ever done, and we've said it before, I think the best thing we've ever done for this show is stop telling each other what the takes are going to be.
You can't, because you don't know what's coming.
Like
it's
your mind on between the top 5 on the bar foods, and what really put your mind in a fucking blender was the ice cream truck, the top 5 ice cream truck ice creams. I watched your mind. I mean,
it gets discombobulated. It gets
and to watch it was hysterical.
Yeah. Well, I'm very like, you could see it in my face. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't got a good poker face. And you know what it's like? It's like going up to the plate. You play baseball, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And you're in a 3-1 count. And you know in your mind a fucking fastball down the middle's coming. Like that's what you're thinking. All of a sudden, the guy grips the 12-6 and drops the 12-6 in for a strike. You know what I mean?
Now, let me tell you, your back was against the wall. That was not a 3-1 count. Your face, that was 0-2, and I was painting 100 on the black. You were 0-2. You were choked up on the bat. You were so.
I was just trying to make contact.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
All right. So
you're
here's what I'm going to throw at you, Meats.
Yeah.
This is actually something that we've talked about. For me, my top 5 has always changed with this. And we even talked about.
We got another top 5.
I got another top 5 for you.
Yes.
We might even have to just change it to do one top 5 segment, because the top 5s are the best.
Yeah. Honestly, can the faithful please DM me, Bob, and the page, show or even comment. Let us know what you think about that, because we've been talking about it. Maybe we just do like one top 5 segment, and then we'll figure out the rest. But the top 5s are just so much fun. And it's so cool to see like everybody else getting involved. And I mean, I love the DMs. And I mean, by the way, a lot more Ruben fans than I thought out there. A lot more Ruben fans than I thought.
Yeah. There were some people backing you on the Ruben, and there was a mix. There were some people shredding you, and there were some people totally supporting you and back up. Yeah. There's people in the comments of the Pantry Boys that will give analysis on who won each round and why they won each round.
It's so good. Honestly, can I do something? Can I give a shout out to someone who's been really?
I think I know who you're gonna. She's phenomenal in the comments.
He's phenomenal. I gotta find him. I gotta find him.
If you say the handle, I'll know. He's the best. He does.
I don't know how to say the handle. Cade McPeak.
Yep. That's our guy.
That's our guy. Cade McPeak is our guy. This guy, every fucking post has a phenomenal analysis of what's going on.
Who went wrong? Whose take was bad?
Picture is the guy with the football, with like catching the football.
Yeah, and you know what he does? He does like a boxing score or like a UFC score, where like each round he'll be like Meats won 10-8 first round, Meats won 10-8 second round.
So
Bobby 10.
Good.
He's phenomenal.
Shout out Cade McPeak. We see you, big fella.
Shout out McPeak. We are seeing the comments. Let's get dancing here. Let's dance.
Let's dance.
This is something that has come up before. It was on the Instagram live, and I think it needs more coverage. I think it needs the Pantry Boy.
Oh my God.
5-5. I think you know what's coming now.
And I talked about this last night.
And it's time to go dancing again. What's it going to be? Let's say it on 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Top
waters.
5 waters.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we did it.
There it is. Finally, we got
the first one.
Nikki Meats. What I want is your top 5 waters. No water tastes the same. We all know that.
Yes, very true. And I talked about this last night before I went to bed with Logan Ohapi. Sorry. For me, I know the answer. Like I have it. I don't even have to think. I know. Number 1, we're gonna come in with the Poland Spring 16 fluid ounce green label.
To have the fluid ounce ready to go is special. That's special. That's real special. Love that start.
Well, it's got to be. It's tried and true. It's like the 2-hitter in a baseball game. He hits you 285.
He ain't striking out.
He's going to make hard contact. He's consistent. He's going to bat 285. He's going to have a few home runs and a lot of RBIs. And he's going to
move runners around.
He's going to get
locker room guy.
Locker room guy. That's Poland Spring.
Poland Spring water.
Number 2. Number 2, I'm going to go Poland Spring again. However, wait, listen. I'm going to do the big bottle with the squeezy nipple thing to get the water.
Yeah.
That's a great water. That's a great
it
water.
is. It
And
is.
may have,
I
I
don't
might have.
think.
You
I
don't
don't
think
think
that counts?
that's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that's
okay.
fair.
Yeah. You know what? Because it's still Poland Spring water.
I'm
in
not
there.
allowing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't. You know what? You're right. You're
I
right.
will not allow that.
Okay. Number 2 for me.
The nipple thing. Jesus.
The nipple thing's great. Number 2 for me is going to be the Essentia.
Yeah.
I think the Essentia is a great water, and here's why.
Great water.
Because every time I get an Essentia, I just feel like I got out of a business meeting. It doesn't matter where I go. I just feel like it's a business water. Like even if I would get it at a convenience store.
It's a got your shit together water.
It's a got your shit together
exactly
water.
what it
I
is.
feel like if I were to get an Essentia at a convenience store, I'd have to shake the cashier's hand instead of say thank you and tell him pleasure doing business.
You're not going to
You know what
find
I mean?
a lot of people drinking Essentia water that don't have their shit together.
If you see someone, better yet, if you're going out on a date and somehow you guys end up going home together, you go to their place and you look into their fridge and they got a few Essentias in there.
It's phenomenal water.
You know that you're in good hands. You really
Absolute
do.
Phenomenal. We'll love that take.
Number 3 is might throw you for a loop. And I think that it's not talked about enough, but when you have one of these things, it might crack your number 1 spot.
Can we say this on 3? I think I know what it's going to be. Can we go 2 for 2?
Yeah, let's try it. Ready?
Right. 1, 2, 3.
3.
Smart
4.
water.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. My
No,
apologies.
absolutely not. You know, we got a little cocky there.
Yeah, we did. We got ahead of ourselves.
We were a bowl of French onion soup, just said. We really were. The core water. You know the core water?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Took me a second, but I do.
Like the cap is kind of like the Voss.
I have not had too many reps with the core water. I've seen it, but not too many reps.
It's a great. You might want to get some working with the core water because I think it is a fan.
Jesus, that is just. I mean, that's a disrupt the show type of burp. There's burps where you could power through, and then there's burps where you got to sit and talk about for a sec. That was a disrupt the show type of burp. You were like the fajitas at the Mexican restaurant. Disrupted the flow of the entire restaurant. I mean, come on.
And you know what? I tried to get it back down. I
just
tried
popped
to swallow,
it right out.
It just came right out. Anyway,
3 got core.
Core water is a great water. Number 4, I'm gonna go smart water, and here's why. I think the smart water. Sometimes I just can't help but laugh like what we're doing. But the smart water it comes in a big 9 times out of 10, you're not getting a regular 16 fluid ounce smart water.
Yeah,
you're gonna get the bigger one. You know what
it's
I'm saying?
there, but it's rare.
It looks like a propane tank, the big one. You know what I'm saying? It looks like it looks like you ever see like a soda stream or something like the tank you got to put in there. That's what a smart water looks like. It looks like a CO2 cartridge, like a big one. like you're gonna put it in something and like you know what I mean? But the smart water, I think, is a great water. The only reason for me, it's a very refreshing water. Like it's a clean water. But for me, the only reason it's in the number 4 spot and doesn't go past core is because for me, I think the materials that they use for the bottle is a little cheap. And I think it's a very flimsy bottle. Like if you'll notice, when you like grab a smart water, it's kind of like a sleep number bed. It's kind of like, you know, like your hands go in.
It forms into it. Yeah, you're right.
It forms into the bottle. And I don't really like that. I think that's a flimsy water. Kind of makes me nervous. And then at number 5, this might ruffle some feathers. And I don't care because I'm going to stick by it. And I was talking about it last night. I think that if there was a 6th Man of the Year award for waters, I think Deer Park would definitely get that accolade. No?
I'm always going to be blunt with you, Meats. I hate the take. I
Why?
I hate the take. I think it's got a taste. I think Avion water is one of the most overrated waters out there.
Oh, I agree. I think
it's got such a firm taste. I think Deer Park's right there. I think Deer
No,
Park is
see, here's
right
the
there.
thing about Deer
It's
Park.
not coming off my bench. I'll tell you that much. That thing's lucky to be 8. That thing's lucky to be on the roster. I am not a Deer Park, and I respected so much of your list. I think the Deer Park water is a horrid take.
Here's the thing about. Let me explain. Here's the thing about the Deer Park water. Have you ever had a warm one? Probably never.
I know.
Deer Park water is always going to be ice cold. It's always ice cold. And for me, I don't think it's the best water at all. But if I see it, I know I'm going to get a sufficient water. Like, to me, fuck Dasani. I don't like Dasani. I think Dasani is a terrible water.
This
Aquafina, I think, is a terrible water too. Terrible waters. Deer Park is a great water because you know you're going to get a good sip and it's going to be ice cold. The bottle's a little weird. I think the bottle's very weirdly shaped. I think they got to work on their structure.
Talk about a bottle that has no type of resistance, no type of drive or heart. The Deer Park water bottle.
This is it. Yeah. This is like
so
what it does.
Flimsy. It folds like a cheap suit every time you need a good drink of water. I put the Deer Park waters. I put it with the Aquafinas.
Oh no! No, that's not right.
I put it with the Dasanis. I hate the Deer Park.
That's disrespectful. No, that's disrespectful. No, that's disrespectful.
I really do.
No, that's disrespectful. I
really do.
Okay, so what are you gonna put at 5 then?
You ready for my list?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Again, by the way, I loved your list, and I cracked up at your 2 seed because we're so on cue here. We're so on brand. I think you could have had a 5 that was a sure fit for a 5. And something that I would like to say, what makes a good water, and you definitely took that into take besides the Deer Park, is a good bottle.
Yes.
I think so much of a good water is a good bottle. I got one on here that is a good tasting water, but their bottle is so incredible.
Okay.
And it cracked the top 5. Are you ready for me here, Nicky Meats?
Okay, I'm ready.
I got Poland Spring at 1. I'm right there with you.
You have to.
I think we might be biased to Poland Spring. And if you're East Coast, if you're Jersey, if you're New York, you just know. If you don't want a Coca-Cola with your slice, your next best option is a Poland Spring.
Spring. Yeah.
But slice it. Like when I went to visit New York and it had been a long time, the first thing I wanted, I craved it, was not only just the slice of pizza meats, but I also wanted the Poland Spring.
Poland Spring, because correct me if I'm wrong, there is not a lot of Poland Spring on the West Coast.
No, not at all. The only place that you could find it, is Whole Foods did it. So you got to go to Whole Foods to get the.
Can we give a round of applause for the Whole Foods, please?
Yeah,
for understanding the yes.
I will say Whole Foods knows their water.
They do.
And where I was introduced to my number 2 here, it was at Whole Foods.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Go ahead.
I don't know the name of it, but can I guess what it's that water that's got like the almost like the artwork on it. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's got like a mosaic painting, like on the side. Like
but this makes a lot of sense for it.
Okay, go ahead. Okay,
like
go ahead.
I could see that being a. You've thought it. I laughed at your Essentia water take at 2 because I thought there's no way you were gonna match me there. Essentia water
number 2.
Oh, I got Essentia.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I started crying. I tried to keep the poker face to not give away my top 5.
It's a great water. It's a
phenomenal and
phenomenal water.
Durable bottle.
Durable.
Love the Essentia water.
It's like the 2. Fiji on steroids almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely better than Fiji.
Mm-hmm.
I think definitely better than Fiji. I got Essentia water at 2. Number 3, I have the Smart Water.
Okay.
Very, very, as much as people know Smart Water, I still find it to be underrated.
Yes,
I think
I agree.
Smart Water is fantastic.
I agree.
Just a real good water, phenomenal, durable bottle. Number 4, I am going with Fiji. And I like Fiji water. Can't beat the bottle. Hard to really justify that price. It's so outrageous. But I will say, I find Fiji water, now I have it at 4, but I find it to be overrated.
I was just going to say, I feel like it's an overrated water. I feel like there's a lot of hype around the Fiji. And honestly, I was talking about this to Logan last night. the Fiji water is always room temperature. I don't remember the last time I had a Fiji water and it wasn't ice cold. Am I? Are we tripping?
Yeah, a lot of times it's in the hotel mini bar.
It's
and
in the
they have
hotel
it in
mini
there.
bar, and it's a little bit room temp. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, you know what? It's such a great bottle.
It's a great bottle, but I think it's kind of a cold take putting it. If you were gonna do it, I think you do it in the 5 spot. I don't think you do it in the 4 spot.
Yeah, see, I would have loved to see you take out the Deer Park
And replace with the Fiji.
throw in Fiji. I
Yeah.
like Fiji. Don't get me wrong. I'll have it. I just think mentally we know how expensive it is, and on
Yeah.
paper how good it is.
It
that
doesn't add up. It doesn't
it
add up.
doesn't, but still
No.
a good water. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. I
I agree.
got Fiji at 4. Number 5 is a water that it's a good water. Don't get me wrong. But to me, the bottle design takes it into the top 5. It is the best bottle design.
Wait.
I mean, you talk about a company that is so focused on wowing you with the bottle. Do you want to do it on 3?
No, because if you say what I'm thinking, it's gonna be a real problem.
You want to do it on 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Voss
Voss
water.
bottle.
Fuck
Yeah.
you. Fuck you.
I got the Voss.
I think it's
It's a
terrible. I think
tremendous
I think it's a disgrace.
Uh,
I think the
how can-
Voss water is the most obnoxious. I'd rather have the boxed water, the cardboard boxed water. I think that the Voss water is the most overhyped water you could possibly get. It's a glass. Listen,
But
I just
it's not overhyped. It's not.
but it is.
How
because
many people are out there talking about Voss waters? And if they are talking
nobody,
about Voss
nobody,
waters,
because nobody's in a jerk off and buys it.
if they're not talking
They
about
don't
Voss
sell them in
waters,
cases, do they?
you're
If you
telling
don't sell
me
your water in a case, it's a
that
problem.
big unscrewing that
It is.
big.
It is fun.
And then when you take it in, it's like you're having a big. It's just it's like an avalanche of water coming at you. It's an absolute avalanche. And just so the Voss water is the only water bottle you don't know. Do I throw it in recycling or do I put it in regular garbage? It's the most outrageous design. And if I don't reward that design at 5, when am I going to reward it?
You make a good case.
Are you turning a little bit?
No. Well, the thing of the design of the water is great. It is. Like for me, it reminds me of like a futuristic. Like I feel like when you have to hit a button in order to get one.
It's a modern water bottle.
It's a modern water bottle.
10 years from now will still be modern.
Will still be modern, and that's a great way to put it. Like I feel like in order to get a Voss water, you have to press a button and it like. And like steam comes out and then you grab the bottle. Like that's what it reminds me of. Like it reminds me of a futuristic bottle of water. And I just think that like, you know what did it though? It was Grown Ups. Grown Ups is what did it. The movie.
Did they have Voss water there?
There was
in
like
the
this
movie?
running joke about like Adam Sandler's kids. The kid wanted Voss water and they were really rich. It just like gives me like, like kind of like prick vibes. You know what I mean? Oh,
yeah. Well, I'm not denying that.
I drink Voss water.
I'm not denying that. I just think for the bottle, I think you got to give it the nod. But the beauty of this, Meats, is that we always know, especially with the top 5.
Yeah, we're gonna know.
We're gonna know. We're gonna know. The Pantry Boys
tell.
faithful will decide who's got the better water top 5.
And I gotta be honest, you are right about twisting it open.
2 hands to twist it off.
You do it, and then if you get a little fancy. Once you get to like the last full turn, you just kind of tap it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it
so good. So good. What a show. Yeah, you're so right.
And then
just a little flick and it's off there.
Or when you're screwing it back on, right at the last turn, you just give it a little bit of an extra in there and it'll close itself.
Oh God.
Okay, I don't hate it. I don't hate the Voss. I don't hate it.
So the Voss makes it time. Deer Park in the 5.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I really do. I think
you're gonna get just fucking torched.
I don't think so. I really don't. And I think people.
By the way, Big day for core water, though.
Big day for core water. I was just going to say big day for core water.
Eddie V got the nod last week. I think core water.
This week it's going to be core water.
Big day.
And those are the folks that have tried the core water. When I said core water, they probably did a couple of fist bumps, like "fuck yeah."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, big day for core water. Without further ado, though, Nicky Meats, it's time to keep it moving here. We got the Nicky Meats steak coming in hot. Nicky Meats, what do you got for us?
Okay. So we're gonna talk desserts. Okay.
Okay, let's talk desserts.
We're gonna talk ice cream. Are you getting into mine of the ice cream?
I'm ready. Let's talk desserts. Let's talk ice cream.
Okay. Sprinkles. You like sprinkles?
Don't get excited about them, but yeah, I like them.
But you'll okay. If they're on your ice cream, you won't be mad?
No, not at all.
Okay. If you had to choose between crunchy or soft sprinkles, you know, like sometimes you get the few day old sprinkle.
Yeah,
which one would you choose?
Okay. I am going to go with a great question. Great question.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with the soft sprinkle. And the reason why is I love the way the soft sprinkle kind of infuses itself into the ice cream, because let's be honest, we're here for the ice cream. You know,
yes, that's what
you go to an MLB game. You're not here for the umpire. You're here for the players. You're here for the Shohei Ohtanis. The Shohei Ohtani of the ice cream is the ice cream, not the. How's that for a take, Meats?
It's so good.
I think you got to do the soft sprinkle, because the soft sprinkle works its way into the ice cream. It's there. It's a support system if you need it. It adds to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Adds a little extra color into the ice cream, and it still lets that ice cream shine.
You know what? Honestly speaking, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've never thought that this would happen ever on the show. I got nothing to add. I mean, that is exactly. That is exactly.
It's a quick talk on sprinkles.
That is exactly my thought process. Exactly.
I honestly,
I seriously have nothing to add to that. I think you did a great job.
I think that's just going to take us right into everybody wants a soft sprinkle. Anybody we're very open to different takes, and it's fun to see the different takes. Anybody who tries to have a different take here, go fuck yourself. This is the only answer. And
it was kind of a test. It really was. It was kind of a test to you to see what you would say.
Yeah,
you just continue to amaze me every single episode. You came in and you just hit. I got nothing. I really got nothing. Phenomenal.
It was just a little tune-up. You took the car. You took the car to the mechanic. There was nothing wrong with the car. You just wanted to make sure everything's fine. Everything's good. All right.
Absolutely nothing wrong with the car. You just wanted to listen. There's nothing wrong with my car. I just want you to look inside a little bit, see if there's anything going on. Nothing's wrong.
Pop the hood, see what's going on.
Look in there a little bit. Nothing's wrong with the car.
All right,
let's go to the voicemail. Let's do it.
That takes us over to the voicemails. Before we get into the voicemails, I just want to tell a quick story, just to show kind of the growth of the show. I was at a wedding this weekend, and it's cocktail hour. And it was at my buddy's wedding, and he has a huge family, a bunch of friends, and then his wife has a bunch of friends. There's a lot of people I didn't know. And I'm enjoying the hors d'oeuvres, talking to people, and I keep seeing this guy looking at me. And he's just eyeing me down. He's watching me eat the hors d'oeuvres.
I know that feeling.
He's with his wife. And finally, he comes walking over to me. And he goes, "Bob, I don't want to take too much of your time." He goes, "Big Pantry Boys guy, I just want to talk the Chipotle burrito for a second here, Bob." And his wife is watching him do this. And he goes, "Have you ever thought about splitting that sucker in half? Have you ever thought about just taking that thing down the middle?" He said, "Guac and sour cream on the side. Use it as a dip for each bite." I like that take. And I will definitely
try
his name?
That.
I should know.
Sorry, bad look for the brand. Sorry, bad look.
It had to be Brian. He was phenomenal. And
shout out Brian.
He was great. It was
That's
great.
Awesome.
And the only thing I worried about, which I told him, and I said, first off, you're not taking any of my time. I could sit here all day with you.
And that's the thing. Like people think I can't stop. People think that it's like like that. Well, you're like I'm not bothered at all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
I
I
get
mean, it was
texts,
phenomenal.
yeah.
And what I told him was, I said, the only thing I worry about, I said, I'm going to try it. The only thing I worry about is the bottom of that burrito.
The bottom of that burrito.
You've lost your base.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you lost your base because I think it all depends on how the Chipotle worker wraps the burrito.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you get a tight wrap fucking burrito, I think you cut it down the middle, no problem. You don't have any issues.
Right. But the only thing that I would say with that is the best part about Chipotle is how consistent they are. With that, you lose that consistency.
Right. But I think I just thought of an idea to solve all our problems. I think you cut it when it's still in the tin foil.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's a deli sandwich.
Like it's a deli sandwich right in the tin foil. You just cut it right down the middle.
Yeah, and they would do that for you.
They would.
They might charge an extra $1.25.
Oh, you take your burrito up to the thing. Excuse me, can you just take the knife that you cut the chicken thighs with?
Like it's a fucking deli.
Just slice it down the middle, just like it's a deli.
We talked about this for about 15, 20 minutes.
And that's the beauty.
He goes back to his wife and he high fives his wife and she come over. She goes, did he get the tape? Did he get the tape? It was fucking phenomenal. So
that is awesome.
Shout out Brian. Shout out Brian. Phenomenal stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head on over to our voicemails.
Nikki, Bob, Tom from Long Island here. Big time Pantry Boys fan. Love the show. Love the guests. Love all the hot takes. This is what I got for you guys. I want to know your opinion on the doggy bag, even the restaurant. I know we've been there. We order a little too much food sometimes. Our eyes bigger than our stomach at times. How do you feel about the person taking the bag home with the leftovers to have maybe a second dinner or lunch the next? I get excited for the lunch the second day if I'm taking home the doggy bag. Let me know your guys' opinion. Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
If I may, Meets, right out of the gate, what he said, that's a great line. He got a little bit cut off there, but what he said was a great line is that our eyes are bigger than our stomachs sometimes. And I think that
unbelievable.
I think that's a great line.
100%.
And 100%. I think what he really wants to touch on is the doggy bag, which is a great conversation, the leftovers. If I may, Meets, for me, and I know that feeling, if you do take the doggy back home, come that next day when it's time for lunch, you're so happy.
Yes.
You did it.
Yes.
The only thing with the doggy bag is, though, obviously you're getting the doggy bag because you're full. And at the time, you don't even want to process the thought of food and taking the food home. Say you're going to a bar after the dinner that you're at. Then you don't want to, carry the doggy bag.
Yeah, that's like showing up to a restaurant with a suitcase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to carry around. So the lazy side of you says, no, fuck it. I don't need the doggy bag. However, come that next day, if you took the initiative and had the drive to get it back home, you are so proud of yourself for sticking to that. And you always, always, always are so happy that you ended up taking the doggy bag. It's just tough hauling it through the rest of the night.
I agree, but I will never be the guy to be like, I'll take the doggy bag. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the doggy bag guy. You know what I'm saying?
I will be.
You're the doggy bag. Okay, so you're a doggy bag guy. Like you'll take the way they wrap the doggy bag. I mean, when you go to a good place, like it's a pleasant sight. You get the styrofoam, and then they twirl it really nice. You kind of sometimes you carry it by the bunny ears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? You carry it out in the bunny ears.
Of course.
I agree. I've only taken the doggy bag a few times, and I will 100% agree with you that the next day when you're like, what am I going to eat? The doggy bag. Like you have it with, but like for me, one, I'm either going to finish my food no matter what. Like, I don't care if I'm full, I have to.
Yeah.
Or two, if I got a little bit left and they're like, would you like me to wrap this up? I'm like, no, that's okay. Thank you. Like, I don't know. For me, I'm just not the doggy bag type. However,
Well,
when I've done it, I've been very happy with
you're
myself.
always happy. And then you're
Yes.
actually the build up to the day. There's a build up to the doggy bag because that
There,
whole
there,
day through.
there is such a buildup to the dog.
There is you're seeing it in the fridge when you go in the morning to get a water. You're throughout the day, throughout that night, you're
It's almost
seeing
like
the doggy bag.
It's got like an angelic light on it when you
It
open up the
does,
fridge.
and
It shines
boy,
a little bit brighter in that fridge.
It totally does. When you open that fridge, it stands out from whatever else you got going. Even if you go into somebody else's fridge, you say, wow, good for them. They got a doggy bag. There's a
or you say, oh, wonder what's in there. Like you know what I mean?
There's such an intrigue to it. There's a mystery to what's in there. And again, I think that build up, but especially if you go to a nice place, a lot of times you end up over ordering or whatnot.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
If it's a quality food, I commit to the doggy bag,
yes.
and you'll be so happy that you did.
100%.
Yes. It's going to take some effort from you. It's going to take a little bit of effort to get it home.
I got to be honest. I never was the doggy bag guy, but now after this conversation, I might be the doggy bag.
I love what you said. I love what you said even too, just how much it stands out, the doggy bag into the fridge.
Yeah, because it's new. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's something new. Like even when I go to bed the night before, I'm thinking to myself, I can't wait to eat that dog. Like I cannot wait, whether it's at lunch, whether it's at dinner. For me, lunch is the best time to eat the doggy bag.
Yeah, very rarely should that doggy bag
make it to dinner. No, that's too. I feel like it's too long. I feel like it's in there too long. I feel like the doggy bag should be consumed at lunch, and I think that most people would agree.
I totally agree with that.
Phenomenal.
That
I'm right on board.
Not make it to dinner, and that line I like a lot. Because it is true, the eyes are bigger than the stomach.
Yes,
phenomenal line.
This is
phenomenal episode of the Pantry Boys. I mean, mates, I'm looking forward to next week.
I'm looking forward to next week. The energy was great. The Alex was phenomenal. I mean, it just was the voicemail. Phenomenal episode. Really, we love you.
We love you,
and we're gonna come in firing next week with our boy that we got coming on.
Ready to
rock and roll. It's gonna be a special episode.
It's kind of like a.
It's gonna be themed. The episode.
It's a theme. That's exactly the word I was looking for.
It's a theme. Next episode is gonna be themed. That's all we're gonna say on that. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Pantry Boys. We're always, I don't know. I fucking lost it. Love you. See you next week.